Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Dick Thunder Lips, here to bring you your DTF report, Recaparoo for Week 5's action as we get into the hot and the heavy. Folks, we're going to dive right in. We're going to go to the back end of the schedule and work our way back this a week. Let's take a gander-roo at Week 5. First off the tippity top, folks, you got the Zack team fits in the tantrums, throwing a tantrum still as he drops another L. Folks, 0-5 now to the Grunk Pirates, Aldo's team, trying to claw back from their hole they were in, folks, dropping 137 to 113.3. Let's see how this went down. Let's take a little diggeroo into action. As you see Deshaun Watson, remembering he's supposed to be a stud, and Gardner Minshew, 19, not a slouch, folks. Zack's getting some good production on the top of his roster, as you'll see Ezekiel Elliott still eating with 23.5. You got 15 for Ronald Jonesy. You have T.Y. Hilton trying so hard, folks, to get 100 yards receiving in a game. This guy hasn't done it in forever. 12 points, though. 14 from Lavikska. Jimmy Graham's still thinking he's a good tight end, folks, working that red zone for the Bears. 12 points, and then, 3 from Greg. You don't like to see mediocre tight ends in the flex, but you gotta do what you gotta do. This is partially why Zack is struggling, folks. Not much ado on the bench, sadly, and that is why Zack put up a respectable 113. But respect doesn't get you dubs around here. Now when your opponent has Stephon and David Henry dropping 19, disappointing Malcolm Brown with only 3, but C.D. Lamb, looking like a star still with 20 points. The question is, will he still be a star moving forward? Justin Jefferson, disappointing time. I don't know who this guy is. Drew Sample, and in this sample size, shit. Yeah, all the better look into that one. Devontae Parker, still at the pulse, and Hollywood Brown, and the Ravens single-handedly putting Aldo on their back and taking him to victory, folks. That's the secret sauce right there. And hey, what Mike Williams doing? 27.9 on the bench. What in the blue hell happened there, folks? Anywho, sorry, Zack. You better do something, buddy. You gotta climb out of that hole, or it's gonna be a tough year at the end here, folks. And oh my, putting a nail in Jay Sizzle's coffin, folks. Jay Sex took down Danny Boy last week, thought he was turning things around to march back for that title, but no sorry, no. Al drops him right back down where he belongs, beating him with a paltry 98.5 to a pathetic 84.9, folks. Oh boy, see, this is where Aldo's like, Zack's like, what am I doing here, folks? Could have played one of these jabrones, picked up a dub, but no. As we see here, Al single-handedly winning off the back of Patrick Mahomes with 29 points. He's got a goose egg from John Brown. Not sure what happened there, if he got hurt or didn't play. And the Niners defense somehow only scoring 2 against the Miami Dolphins. Not sure what's going on there. Miami just unloading 43 points on the 49ers. Full R.I.P. San Fran, baby. George Kittle with 8 points. Just disappointing all around. But disappointing led to a dub somehow, Al. I don't know. This is what you love to see as a fantasy owner. It's oh man, I guess I lose this week. Nope, because my opponent is somehow shittier. Joe Burrow finally looking like a rook he is with only 4 points, which is even more head-scratching because this dude's got Brady on the bench for 14, but hey, what are you going to do? Kareem Hunt still looking like a stud. Jonathan Taylor-Thomas still improving his home with 15. Baby Shark, came back down to earth, and that's probably why Jay Sizzle didn't win, to be honest. This dude dropped a shitload of points last week. Stephon Diggs still not concussed. What is this guy doing? 20 points. Oh my. Hunter Henry with 12. Joshua Kelly just not doing what people thought he might, only dropping 4. And Khalif Raymond, who's this guy? I have no idea. And the Buffalo defense losing 42-16, somehow scoring 0, which is impressive. Not sure how that happened, folks. That means they literally did nothing. Like no sacks, no interceptions, no fumble. I don't even know it's possible. Meanwhile, 14 from Brady, 20 from Preston Williams would have surely given Jay Sizzle the win. But let's say Zack still resting on his championship laurels. You know, he got his team up to face Danny Boy last week, and then that was all he had in him, I guess. Well, your baby Blues ain't gonna salvage the season, Zack. Better do something. You know, Al's making you look bad. Look at Al 3-2. This could be the year, baby. Meanwhile, CJ's getting in there. Oh, wait, this is never mind. That's Ricky G's new team name for next week. Last week, he was trying to challenge Adrian to a boxing match. This is what happens when Dick doesn't do the reports on time, folks. Let's just say Ricky G's playing CJ next week, all right? But in the meantime, he's still licking his wounds, going to 2-3 after dropping the game to Adrian. Adrian doesn't apparently miss his daddy that much as he picks up the dub here, dropping 135. And we take a look at this close matchup, folks, and it all really came down to probably Matt Ryan taking a shit with only 6.9 points, proving that it's not just the fourth quarter that's getting the best of them now. It's the entire fucking games. Atlanta sucks. James Robinson coming back down to earth with only 10 points. Myles Gaskin, though, still blowing a gasket for Ricky G with 20 points. He got 18 from Tyree. Allen Robinson, like a Nick Foles, baby, with 19. And Mo Alley Cox did not get the Cox in there, only scoring 0. Not sure what's going on there. More importantly, why is Ricky G benching Darrell Henderson Jr.? That takes some cojones, folks, but the dude's got a bunch of running backs, I guess. Devonta Freeman with 16. Chase Edmonds dropping 20. 20 gives me a swinger. This guy's got to just, trade one of these RBs to teams with none, and maybe get a better tight end than Mo Allen Cocky here. Anywho, he took the L, though. This is still a solid day with 118, but still took the L to the $135 on the Adrian side. Roethlisberger dropping bombs with 21. Joe Mixon, 15, solid. Gurley looking like a number one pick again with 25. Not sure what's going on there. DJ Moore liking what Teddy Bridgewater was slinging with 19 points. And Scary Terry, not so scary this week, but Adrian, boy oh boy, did not need it, folks. Darren Waller with 15. James Conner still terminating. And that Rams D dropping 13 on the Washington football team. And this is in a week where this dude's got like 4 guys on bye. These aren't really his starters, though. But you gotta like what Adrian's doing, the juice he's putting out. If these running backs can keep performing, dude's no slouch. He's got a shot at getting that beautiful belt back, folks. Let's see. Ricky G, meanwhile, gotta get back in the game. Gotta do something, make some moves. I don't know, man. It's looking bleak out there. Meanwhile, Chris Stahl still shitting on people left and right, dropping a $144, goes to 5-0. Shits all over Matthew J. Segovia's. Shane Falco wasn't available. No one was, Matt. You only scored 95. Oh, Gio mio mio. That 95 is a juicy morsel for half of these teams to play against that took L's this week. Chris Stahl could have beat anybody, but she took a shit on a 95. That's how you do it. Let's take a look at Matt's team first, since, Chris Stahl's just going to look like a party time over here. Matt's the dearth of the Justin Herbert with 27 points. What does that even mean? Jared Goff with 24. This dude could have played the opposite last week and won. He didn't. He stuck to his guns. He still lost, but he picked the right guy this time. 27 points from Herbert. Boy, oh boy. Kenyon Drake with only 13 to Chase Edmonds, 20. Matt Segovia is the biggest Chase Edmonds fan ever, so I'm kind of shocked he doesn't have him, to be honest. Nyman Heine with only 5, 12 for Javon Landry. Darius Slayton, where did this 20 points come from? Matt should have got 0 for that and only scored 70, so that's a fucking miracle. 4 points for Chris Herndon. Who's Zacchaeus? I don't know. Matt's just playing guys at random now, and still that Homer Cardinals play scored him 8. Not much to do. He's got to hope that these guys on bye come back with a vengeance and maybe get him the dub next week. Let's take a look at Chris Stahl's dream team. It's making my stash fall off just thinking about it. Russell Wilson still playing like an MVP. Dalvin Cook cooked up something nice before maybe getting suspended here. 19 points on his way out. 23 for Miles Sanders. 21 for Calvin Ridley. And what in the blue hell? This lady got a goose egg again and a 1.6 from somebody and still scored 144 points. DK Metcalf with 27, Robbie Anderson with 19, this dude was 6. There's a negative score on the bench from Jimmy G. There's a 12 from Kirk and 10 from Hooper. She could have scored a bajillion had she played them. How is she scoring so good? when she's dropping goose eggs, folks. Now I can breathe again with my stash on. I know that that's over. Crystal just jerking the magic juice everywhere. It doesn't matter that she's somehow making massive mistakes in places. She's making up for it everywhere else by dropping bombs, folks. Oh, Dick's thirsty. Hope it's not that COVID. I mean, I wear this stash. It should keep all the germs out. Keeps the germs in, keeps the germs out. I don't know what it's doing. Helps me breathe at night. Tyree might need his daddy Adrian back. Goes to 2-3. Might need to name his team. That might be the difference here. CJ hanging in there with another dub. $134, solid score. Goes to 4-1. Staying at the tippity top of the league. You know, Tyree is got to be like live or die by Lamar Jackson. This disappointing day from Lamar Jackson. You pay a lot for this dude. He should be dropping 30s like Mahomes, but he's just not this year, and that is costing Tyree dearly. Mostert came back with a solid day. J.K. Dobbins scrubbing in. This is a dude that needs some RBs. And let me tell you, Amari Cooper, oh, sad day, only dropping 4. This is why Tyree still scored decently because the bottom part here. Travis Kelce with a big day, 24. And 21 from Jonnu Smith with the tight ends holding it down. Nice and tight for Tyree, like Dick likes it. Nice and tight, baby. And Emmanuel Sanders with back-to-back solid weeks. Might be time to get him in there, Tyree. Get him in there. Dick likes it. You just some bad luck, buddy. You could whoop on some of these 80s, but you're just getting some tooth matchups. Maybe you should talk to Adrian about it. Meanwhile, C. Jizzle riding Kyler Murray's hotness still with 26. Devin Singletary with a shitty day, only 4 points, folks. David Montgomery still scoring well with 18. 25 from D-Hop, making up for, I think it was last week, he kind of laid a turd. Robert Woods with 17, and Mark Andrews looking sexy as ever. And now CJ's getting in there, and look at that bye-week shenanigans going on. CJ's got a cute little team here, just like his ass. I mean, just like... No, I said ass. I said CJ's ass. That's not a euphemism, folks. Shut up. Next up, you've got Freddy picking up a dub somehow against Steven Naramore, $116 to 102. And when I saw this, I thought Freddy was going to take the L hard here, folks. But he picked up a dub when he most needs it because this dude's team is dropping like flies, folks. Steven Naramore, the tough luck loser, going to 4-1, finally having a crappy-ass week, letting Crystal chill in first place. Let's take a look at Freddy's team. 13 points before losing Dak Prescott. We'll see how this affects the rest of the boys. Obviously, you saw Amari Cooper later turd without him. But, this dude, he's got Ryan Tannehill dropping 30 on the bench. So I'm guessing he might be okay moving forward. Clyde Edwards, meanwhile, had his first bad game, looking like a rook. Somehow, this team did lose. I don't know, Vegas beat Kansas City? Like, what is this, real life or fantasy? Anywho, 29 points for Mike Davis. Like, C-Mac just, if he could just stay away for a little bit, Mike Davis like an MVP carrying Freddy, baby. 29 from Adam Thielen. He's still feeling it. Juju still looking like trash with 6 points. Evan Ingram with 9. Deontay Johnson with 0.8. Well, Freddy, you deploy the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what you get, buddy. 12 points from Greg Ward. 3 points from the Saints. And baby, sweet mother, and Joseph and Maria, you had 11 points from this guy, 10 from this guy, 30 from Tanny, and 42 from Chase Claypool. This is where I made fun of you last week for having the entire Steelers offense on your bench. And then you somehow played the one guy who scored 40 points on your bench. Way to pick the wrong dudes. I mean, that's all there is to it. Let's be honest here. It's time for Deontay Johnson to take a hike. And let's get Claypool in there, buddy. I mean, this guy, who are you even missing? Where's James Washington? You may as well get them all. Gotta catch them all, Freddy. And meanwhile, Steven Naramore, the tough luck loser, Josh Allen, finally scoring under 20, folks. 16 points on a tough day where they lost 42 to 16. How does this happen? Josh Jacobs, meanwhile, 22, only 5 from Ingram. Can any Baltimore RB be trusted? No, doesn't think so, no. Not even Lamar Jackson at this point. Will Fuller filling it up with 15. He must like that new coach. Jamison Crowder with 25, still riding a Jets receiver. That's adorbs. Zach Ertz looking like a piece of shit, folks, with 1 point. 4 for Debo. The Niners didn't do anything, folks. 7 for Latavius Murray and 3 for the Chiefs. And boy, 16 for the backup RB from Minnesota. This dude's he's gonna feast, baby. He's gonna have a hungry little day if that other dude ends up getting suspended. What's his name? I forgot his name. Cook. Anywho, Stephen Naramore, tough day. But dude, next week if Cook is suspended, this guy's going to have a stacked lineup, let me tell you. Naramore's team's still looking solid. Freddy is going to have to work some magic here when C-Mac comes back and deprives him of a starting running back. And he just lost Dak, but hey, man, his head held high. He had a dub when he needs it most going into that stretch. And boy, oh boy, this last matchup as Danny Boy picks up a dub. 124-109 against the Professor Oscar. And this is a tough one. This drops Oscar to 2-4, keeps Danny in the running for the top spots at 4-1. Teddy Bridgewater deployed because the big cheese here was on a bye. Alvin Kamara with 19. Antonio Gibson, disappointing day. Cooper Kupp, less than he usually does. Jeff Smith, I don't even know who this guy is, folks. Jets 9th receiver, getting 5. 3 points from Higbee. It's the tight end carousel for Danny Boy between Gronk, Higbee, and Logan Thomas just is not working. I think it's the tight end curse again from last year all over. David Johnson with only 12. And who cooked up the most? The guy that goose-egged and cost Danny the win last week said, I got you, boo. I got you this week. 30 points, folks. And you know what's silly? I know for a fact Dick was on the inside where Dick likes to be. And when they got that call in on Sunday that the Patriots game was turning into a bye, Edelman came out of the lineup, and Danny Boy said, do I play Cole or do I play Brandon Cooks? And I said, new coach, new man, Brandon Cooks is going in. And I was way too right. Danny, not Dick, who dropped 30 points, which ended up being the difference if he played the other dude, maybe. No, not quite. But still, maybe. Dick don't math. But Danny Boy might have lost had he played the other dude, I think. Anyway, Drew Brees still playing like he's 25. Chris Carson with 19. And this is why tough day for Oscar. He had the opposite effect. He last second had to pick up an RB because Melvin Gordon went on by very last second. And that ended up costing him the game because this dude only got 0.1. Odell Beckham with 11, 15 for Mike Evans. Mike Gesicki with 14. T. Higgins with 12 or 10. And this is what sucks. A.J. Brown came back with a vengeance with 21. Oscar had to get him in there. It might have been a different kind of day, and you never know. Jared Cook cooked up a storm out of nowhere, folks. But this is where, this is maybe the other guy we're thinking about here is Melvin Gordon. I'm going to check the notes here, folks. Hold on your hats. I do believe he might be the guy. Oh, never mind. I was lying the whole time. Melvin Gordon's the one that might be suspended, folks. Dick's been threatening a lie for you this whole time. I think Dalvin Cook is the one who might be hurt. And Melvin Gordon is the one who might be suspended, folks. There's a lot to keep your ear holes tied to this week in the action. Let's take a look at the leaderboards, folks. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. As we see here, Cristal still at the tip of the top of the mountain at 5-0. Danny Boy 4-0. Stephen Naramore 4-1. And you got the 4-1 C Jizzle. You got some 3-2s. Nipping at the heels, folks. And then a bunch of 2-3s. And then just the shitters of the league, folks. Just the shitters. They just can't buy a bucket right now down there. Meanwhile, the highest scoring teams, Cristal, still at the tippity top of the mountain, which is partially why she is 5-0, folks. Danny Boy still there, but like 40 points behind. I don't even know what that means. See Jizzle high scoring. So is Ricky G, despite that tough record. Adrian still doing well, as is Stephen Naramore, and Oscarito, despite his 2-3, scoring well. Meanwhile, the most shittiest on kind of tells us the whole story, folks. Ricky G getting shit on. So is Oscar, so despite their decent scoring, the records just don't show, and this is why Zack's in last, really, folks. 693 scored on him, you don't like to see that. And this is why L's doing so well, the lowest points against, folks. Frankly, kind of that's how it goes, That's why we play the game. That is why we play the game. Now, if we take a quick looky-loo just to take a quick glance at this week, folks. Waivers went off a day later than normal because that Tuesday game that was this last week. But this week, we're going to have a couple hot matchups to take a look at. So let's give you a quick preview, folks, as Steven Naramore takes on Danny Boy in a battle of 4-1s. This is a very divisive game going into the home stretch, folks. Got to get that pole position. Every L matters now. Every dub matters, baby. Meanwhile, C. Drizzle and Ricky G, two high-scoring teams, going at it, folks. This is another big one because Ricky G's been scoring well but not picking up the dubs in tough matchups, and CJ's been hanging on to that hot record, baby. This is a big one, again. Meanwhile, L will continue to pick on the 0-5 teams, and more importantly, hot Tyree split from his daddy Adrian. Can he muster the strength to give Crystal her first L? We will find out this week. And then some other time matchups. You got 3-2s playing 2-3s. This is a tough one, a must-win for both, to be honest, folks, at this juncture. Freddy trying to pick on an 0-5 team. And then in the battle of ineptitude, Aldo will face Jay Sizzle. Our reigning champion, if you could even call him that anymore, will face Aldo in a matchup to see who will fall to the bottom of the cellar and who might start climbing out, folks. And that's it for this week. And for now, folks, dicks out, baby.